Well, hello family and friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shauna, and thanks for being here today on this fabulous Friday. I hope you're having a great day so far. After all, the weekend's here. I hope you have some good weekend plans, if nothing else, for some rest and recuperation or adventure. Well, my friends, let's say a really quick prayer and we'll talk about what we're going to learn today. Lord, thank you for every single soul who can hear my voice. Please give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to gain some insight and inspiration from your text, the Holy Bible, that we can use in our lives today. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, well, today we're going to finish the book of Zachariah. Yes, there's 14 chapters, and we finish 9 through 14 today. So it appears to be a whole lot of reading. There's my dog. I'm dog sitting. I thought he would be quiet while I was on air, but of course not. That's okay. So it's a lot of reading as far as chapters. It's 6 chapters, but they're not that long, so that's a good thing. So chapter 9 is entitled Judgment on Israel's Enemies. The temple is rebuilt after 70 years of them being in captivity, and the surrounding people from the nations are starting to come back to Jerusalem. They're coming, and then another subtitle of that chapter was called The Coming King of Zion, which refers to the Messiah, Jesus Christ. And riding humble on his donkey. There I go again, not being able to read my own handwriting. But that's the prophetic vision of him riding into Jerusalem on a donkey, like for Palm Sunday, and everybody's like, Hosanna, Hosanna, the king is here. So anyway, that was a prophecy mentioned in Zechariah chapter 9. And then the Lord will save his people and give them double for what they lost. Because remember, they have been in a Babylonian captivity for 70 years, and they're just now coming back with, the shirt on their backs, if you will. So God's going to restore them. In fact, chapter 10 was entitled The Restoration for Judah and Israel. Zechariah was promoted to leadership by God, and he immediately exposed 3 evil leaders or false prophets. Chapter 11, is entitled The Flock Doomed to Slaughter. It portrayed God's judgment upon Israel for rejecting their appointed shepherd, who is symbolized as the Messiah, the coming King, Jesus Christ. Chapter 12, The Lord Will Give Salvation. This chapter describes Jerusalem as an immovable stone that will become a burden to the other nations. And if they try to attack Jerusalem, God will protect Jerusalem and send the attackers into panic, and they will fight themselves. And then also in chapter 12, we saw a mourning for Jesus Christ, because it says there, him whom they have pierced. God's going to cause great mourning for every single person once that happens. And they're talking about the crucifixion, obviously. And it compared the sorrow to the sorrow of your firstborn dying or your only child dying. Deep sorrow, greater than that. So that's another prediction. Because remember, this is the book of Zechariah, which is prophecy, right? So a lot of what's happening that we're reading about hasn't happened at this time, which is why it's kind of, mind-blowing. And I've said that throughout this reading, just trying to comprehend it even slightly. Chapter 13 is entitled Idolatry Cut Off. So God will cleanse the people that have returned to build his temple, and he's going to cleanse them from the false prophets and idols. God's not having that again. They're not going to bring them idols into his new temple and, his new city of Jerusalem. In fact, it described a sin cleansing fountain that's going to be in Jerusalem. I don't know if that's actual or figurative, but there you have it. And then the last chapter that we covered was chapter 14, The Coming Day of the Lord. And it's a future time of judgment and redemption centered on Jerusalem. An attack on the holy city and God will intervene. So it just described any attackers that come up against Jerusalem, God's going to handle them himself. And they actually spoke of a attack on the city of Jerusalem and God's divine intervention, where he parted Mount Olives. The Mount of Olives, he split a mountain and made it a low plain just to protect his people from their enemies. Yeah, well, that is our reading. What we're going to read today, remember, it's Zachariah 9 through 14. Of course, I prepared a video for you. I hope you like it. It's not that long either. It's only, I think, about 20 minutes. You know, considering it's 6 chapters, I thought it was going to be like an hour long, but it wasn't bad at all. Some quick birthdays before you go, however. So, before I get to the fun stuff, I just want to say a quick prayer for, just remind us to always pray for those who are sad and in mourning and crisis. You know, a dear friend of mine, Jasmine, she lost a cousin recently. So praying for you, Jasmine, sending virtual hugs. And just remember to always pray for others. You know, even if you're up at the moment, even better, pray for others. And if you're down, still pray for others, and hoping that someone is praying for you. Yep, so never cease to pray. So that's not the funnest part, as far as, like, you know, just knowing that there's a lot of people who are in mourning and sad about different things. But some happy stuff. Birthdays, right? Birthday's a gift, another gift of life. That's how I see it. Mr. Hampton, my dear friend Beverly in the Seattle area. I saw his birthday today, but I think it was yesterday. So happy belated birthday, Mr. Hampton. And hello, Bevy. You two are so cute. Over 40 years of marriage. That's amazing. That's awesome. My dear friend Elvin in Vegas, he has a birthday. Hello, picture man, video extraordinaire. Happy birthday. I hope things are well in Vegas. Hope to see you soon. And my dear friend Mika, my BFF, her nephew Kane. Happy birthday, Kane. My sweet friend Melanie, her sister Audrey had a birthday. Happy birthday, Audrey. Your sister's so amazing. Miss Peace Queen. And then lastly, one of my stepping brothers here in the Atlanta area, Eric Eway. Happy birthday, Eway. I've been seeing you more in Chicago than Atlanta, though. Let me mind my business. Happy birthday. All right, friends. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you go and have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy the video of our reading today. And if God allows, come back tomorrow so we can read again. All right. Be blessed. Bye. Zechariah chapter 9. Judgment on Israel's enemies. The oracle of the word of the Lord is against the land of Hadrach, and Damascus is its resting place. For the Lord has an eye on mankind, and on all the tribes of Israel, and on Hamath also, which borders on it. Tyre and Sidon, though they are very wise, Tyre has built herself a rampart, and heaped up silver like dust, and fine gold like the mud of the streets. But behold, the Lord will strip her of her possessions, and strike down her power on the sea, and she shall be devoured by fire. Ashkelon shall see it and be afraid, Gaza too, and shall writhe in anguish. Ekron also, because its hopes are confounded. The king shall perish from Gaza. Ashkelon shall be uninhabited. A mixed people shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of Philistia. I will take away its blood from its mouth, and its abominations from between its teeth. It too shall be a remnant for our God. It shall be like a clan in Judah, and Ekron shall be like the Jebusites. Then I will encamp at my house as a guard, so that none shall march to and fro. No oppressor shall again march over them, for now I see with my own eyes the coming King of Zion. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, your king is coming to you. Righteous and having salvation is he, humble and mounted on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall speak peace to the nations. His rule shall be from sea to sea, and from the river to the ends of the earth. As for you also, because of the blood of my covenant with you, I will set your prisoners free from the waterless pit. Return to your stronghold, O prisoners of hope. Today I declare that I will restore to you double. For I have bent Judah as my bow. I have made Ephraim its arrow. I will stir up your sons, O Zion, against your sons, O Greece, and wield you like a warrior's sword. The Lord will save his people. Then the Lord will appear over them, and his arrow will go forth like lightning. The Lord God will sound the trumpet, and will march forth in the whirlwinds of the south. The Lord of hosts will protect them, and they shall devour and tread down the sling stones. And they shall drink and roar as if drunk with wine, and be full like a bowl, drenched like the corners of the altar. On that day the Lord their God will save them as the flock of his people. For like the jewels of a crown, they shall shine on his land. For how great is his goodness, and how great his beauty! Grain shall make the young men flourish, and new wine the young women. Chapter 10. The restoration for Judah and Israel. Ask rain from the Lord in the season of the spring rain, from the Lord who makes the storm clouds, and he will give them showers of rain, to everyone the vegetation in the field. For the household gods utter nonsense, and the diviners see lies. They tell false dreams and give empty consolation. Therefore the people wander like sheep. They are afflicted for lack of a shepherd. My anger is hot against the shepherds, and I will punish the leaders. For the Lord of hosts cares for his flock, the house of Judah, and will make them like his majestic steed in battle. From him shall come the cornerstone, from him the tent peg, from him the battle bow, from him every ruler, all of them together. They shall be like mighty men in battle, trampling the foe in the mud of the streets. They shall fight because the Lord is with them, and they shall put to shame the riders on horses. I will strengthen the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph. I will bring them back because I have compassion on them, and they shall be as though I had not rejected them. For I am the Lord their God, and I will answer them. Then Ephraim shall become like a mighty warrior, and their hearts shall be glad as with wine. Their children shall see it and be glad. Their hearts shall rejoice in the Lord. I will whistle for them and gather them in, for I have redeemed them, and they shall be as many as they were before. Though I scattered them among the nations, yet in far countries they shall remember me, and with their children they shall live and return. I will bring them home from the land of Egypt, and gather them from Assyria, and I will bring them to the land of Gilead and to Lebanon, till there is no room for them. He shall pass through the sea of troubles, and strike down the waves of the sea, and all the depths of the Nile shall be dried up. The pride of Assyria shall be laid low, and the scepter of Egypt shall depart. I will make them strong in the Lord, and they shall walk in his name, declares the Lord. Zachariah 11. The flock doomed to slaughter. Open your doors, O Lebanon, that the fire may devour your cedars. Wail, O cypress, for the cedar has fallen, for the glorious trees are ruined. Wail, oaks of Bashan, for the thick forest has been felled. The sound of the wail of the shepherds, for their glory is ruined. The sound of the roar of the lions, for the thicket of the Jordan is ruined. Thus says the Lord my God, become shepherd of the flock, doomed to slaughter. Those who buy them slaughter them and go unpunished, and those who sell them say, Blessed be the Lord. I have become rich, and their own shepherds have no pity on them. For I will no longer have pity on the inhabitants of this land, declares the Lord. Behold, I will cause each of them to fall into the hand of his neighbor, and each into the hand of his king, and they shall crush the land, and I will deliver none from their hand. So I became the shepherd of the flock, doomed to be slaughtered by the sheep traders. And I took 2 staffs, one I named Favor, the other I named Union, and I tended the sheep. In 1 month I destroyed the 3 shepherds, but I became impatient with them, and they also detested me. So I said, I will not be your shepherd. What is to die, let it die. What is to be destroyed, let it be destroyed. And let those who are left devour the flesh of one another. And I took my staff, Favor, and I broke it, annulling the covenant that I had made with all the peoples. So it was annulled on that day, and the sheep traders who were watching me knew that it was the word of the Lord. Then I said to them, if it seems good to you, give me my wages, but if not, keep them. And they weighed out as my wages 30 pieces of silver. Then the Lord said to me, throw it to the potter, the lordly price at which I was priced by them. So I took the 30 pieces of silver and threw them into the house of the Lord to the potter. Then I broke my second staff union, annulling the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. Then the Lord said to me, take once more the equipment of a foolish shepherd, for behold, I am raising up in the land a shepherd who does not care for those being destroyed, or seek the young, or heal the maimed, or nourish the healthy, but devours the flesh of the fat ones, tearing off even their hooves. Woe to my worthless shepherd, who deserts the flock. May the sword strike his arm and his right eye. Let his arm be wholly withered, his right eye utterly blinded. Chapter 12. The Lord will give salvation. The oracle of the word of the Lord concerning Israel. Thus declares the Lord, who stretched out the heavens and founded the earth and formed the spirit of man within him. Behold, I am about to make Jerusalem a cup of staggering to all the surrounding peoples. The siege of Jerusalem will also be against Judah. On that day, I will make Jerusalem a heavy stone for all the peoples. All who lift it will surely hurt themselves, and all the nations of the earth will gather against it. On that day, declares the Lord, I will strike every horse with panic, and its rider with madness. But for the sake of the house of Judah, I will keep my eyes open when I strike every horse of the peoples with blindness. Then the clans of Judah shall say to themselves, the inhabitants of Jerusalem have strength through the Lord of hosts their God. On that day, I will make the clans of Judah like a blazing pot in the midst of wood, like a flaming torch among sheaves, and they shall devour to the right and to the left all the surrounding peoples, while Jerusalem shall again be inhabited in its place in Jerusalem. And the Lord will give salvation to the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem may not surpass that of Judah. On that day, the Lord will protect the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so that the feeblest among them on that day shall be like David, and the house of David shall be like God, like the angel of the Lord going before them. And on that day, I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem, him whom they have pierced. And I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and pleas for mercy, so that when they look on me, on him whom they have pierced, they shall mourn for him. as one mourns for an only child, and weep bitterly over him, as one weeps over a firstborn. On that day, the mourning in Jerusalem will be as great as the mourning for Hadad Rimmon in the plains of Megiddo. The land shall mourn, each family by itself, the family of the house of David by itself, and their wives by themselves, the family of the house of Nathan by itself, and their wives by themselves, the family of the house of Levi by itself, and their wives by themselves, the family of the Shimeites by itself, and their wives by themselves, and all the families that are left, each by itself, and their wives by themselves. Chapter 13. On that day there shall be a fountain opened for the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, to cleanse them from sin and uncleanness, idolatry cut off. And on that day, declares the Lord of hosts, I will cut off the names of the idols from the land, so that they shall be remembered no more. And also I will remove from the land the prophets and the spirit of uncleanness. And if anyone again prophesies, his father and mother who bore him will say to him, You shall not live, for you speak lies in the name of the Lord. And his father and mother who bore him shall pierce him through when he prophesies. On that day, every prophet will be ashamed of his vision when he prophesies. He will not put on a hairy cloak in order to deceive, but he will say, I am no prophet. I am a worker of the soil, for a man sold me in my youth. And if one asks him, What are these wounds on your back? He will say, The wounds I received in the house of my friends. The shepherd struck. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, against the man who stands next to me, declares the Lord of hosts. Strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered. I will turn my hand against the little ones. In the whole land, declares the Lord, 2/3 shall be cut off and perish, and 1/3 shall be left alive. And I will put this third into the fire, and refine them as one refines silver, and test them as gold is tested. They will call upon my name, and I will answer them. I will say, They are my people, and they will say, The Lord is my God. Chapter 14. The coming day of the Lord. Behold, a day is coming for the Lord, when the soil taken from you will be divided in your midst. For I will gather all the nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses plundered, and the women raped. Half of the city shall go out into exile, but the rest of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then the Lord will go out and fight against those nations, as when he fights on a day of battle. On that day, his feet shall stand on the Mount of Olives that lies before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall be split in two from east to west by a very wide valley, so that one half of the mount shall move northward, and the other half southward. And you shall flee to the valley of my mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach to Azal, and you shall flee as you fled from the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. Then the Lord my God will come, and all the holy ones with him. On that day there shall be no light, cold, or frost, and there shall be a unique day, which is known to the Lord, neither day nor night, but at evening time there shall be light. On that day living waters shall flow out from Jerusalem, half of them to the eastern sea, and half of them to the western sea. It shall continue in summer as in winter, and the Lord will be king over all the earth. On that day the Lord will be one, and his name one. The whole land shall be turned into a plain from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem. But Jerusalem shall remain aloft on its site from the gate of Benjamin to the place of the former gate, to the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananel to the king's wine presses, and it shall be inhabited, for there shall never again be a decree of utter destruction. Jerusalem shall dwell in security, and this shall be the plague with which the Lord will strike all the peoples that wage war against Jerusalem. Their flesh will rot while they are standing on their feet. Their eyes will rot in their sockets, and their tongues will rot in their mouths. And on that day, a great panic from the Lord shall fall on them, so that each will seize the hand of another, and the hand of one will be raised against the hand of the other. Even Judah will fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the surrounding nations shall be collected, gold, silver, and garments in great abundance. And a plague like this plague shall fall on the horses, the mules, the camels, the donkeys, and whatever beasts may be in those camps. Then everyone who survives of all the nations that have come against Jerusalem shall go up year after year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Booths. And if any of the families of the earth do not go up to Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, there will be no rain on them. And if the family of Egypt does not go up and present themselves, then on them there shall be no rain. There shall be the plague with which the Lord afflicts the nations that do not go up to keep the Feast of Booths. This shall be the punishment to Egypt, and the punishment to all the nations that do not go up to keep the Feast of Booths. And on that day there shall be inscribed on the bells of the horses, Holy to the Lord. And the pots in the house of the Lord shall be as the bowls before the altar. And every pot in Jerusalem and Judah shall be holy to the Lord of hosts, so that all who sacrifice may come and take of them, and boil the meat of the sacrifice in them. And there shall no longer be a traitor in the house of the Lord of hosts on that day.